Are we live already?
All right. Looks like we are live.
Who
knows?
Sorry?
These days when we don't have Daniel A because he's on holidays, but hopefully we are live.
You can check.
And welcome to another edition of Nansen Office Hours. This time we are joined by a special guest, namely the legendary Daryl Lau, aka Alpha Chad, for today. How are you doing, Daryl?
Not too bad, I guess. Like finally waking up in the morning. Now my sleeping schedule all fixed already.
That's amazing. So where are you based right now in the world?
I'm in Puerto Rico. So just came here to meet the rest of the mechanism team. So like 5 of us, like we haven't met like properly in the whole team setting at all. Yeah.
You never met in person, like the whole gang?
The whole gang, yeah. I literally just met them like this weekend.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing. That's actually similar to the Nansen co-founders as well. We've never met, all 3 of us. In fact, Evgeny and Lars have never met each other in real life.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I guess we are the product of the digital age, right?
Yeah, when Nansen retreat.
Yeah, you might get an invitation at some point. So who else are you meeting in Puerto Rico?
I guess a lot of like crypto guys that I've talked to for the past 2-3 years. Like they're all here. Like all the fund managers, all the degenerates, farmers. Yeah, they're all kinds of people basically in crypto.
Okay. Cool. Do you have like different houses? Like one fund has like this house and another fund has like another house, or how does it work?
Everyone has to buy their own house. Like literally.
Everyone has to buy their own house. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, if you're here for the tax stuff, then you need to buy a house.
Okay.
And, yeah. But like we basically have one whole neighborhood area that everyone that we know is all there. It's like literally, like I can walk down the street and it's like my friends are there. walk like down my own street and that's friend next to me. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's all chill. Yeah, all chill vibes, party vibes. Yeah.
So maybe before we start diving into all this alpha stuff we're going to be doing, maybe there are some viewers who don't know that much about you. Do you want to give a quick intro on like who you are and what do you do in the crypto space?
Yeah, I guess so. Here I'm Daryl. I guess full-time shit coining at Mechanism Capital. So we help a lot of like venture stuff with our portfolio companies investing in early stage DeFi projects. But we've done mostly DeFi projects, but we've done a few data analytics companies like Nansen. So we led the seed round for Nansen. We're like one of the first few people that invested in it. They were like literally was talking to Alex like around every day, hounding him with like feature requests. Then one day was like, I was like making a stupid joke like, oh, when Nansen coin, and then Alex was like, oh, we're actually thinking of doing funding. And I was like, fuck, let's do this. And at the moment, it's like literally like I think 1 or 2 weeks since I joined Mechanism, it's like, okay, let's do it. Make it my first deal that I brought to the table. Oh yeah.
Was it actually the first deal?
Yeah, it was.
That's amazing.
That was amazing. Yeah.
I feel honored. Yeah, that was really cool when we started talking together. So it feels like we've closed the circle now that you're the first special guest on Nansen Office Hours, right?
Yeah. Happy coincidence.
Here we are. Exactly. So what do you think? Should we just dive right in and maybe we'll shoot some questions like along the ride? Do you want to
whatever works?
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and share your screen and people can see you wrangling the Nansen dashboards?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. Okay.
There you go.
It works. Yeah, Boom. It works. Yeah. All right.
Looks like it works.
I'm on the Nansen homepage. It works, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's just play around. Let's just play around token god mode. That's my favorite, anyways. Pendle just launched like farming today, like on 17th. Yeah, probably in a few, basically like 12 hours or something. They're going to be launching their product. So if you could dive into that, maybe.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let's have a look.
Yeah. Taking forever to load. Okay, got it.
So what do you typically look at like when you open up token god mode? Like what do your eyes drift towards? What are some of the main things you look for?
Yeah, so one, like when I go to the homepage here, just literally look, the first thing you see is this chart already. So you can just check out like, oh, if there's a sudden drop, that's like something I want to understand why. So probably it's for like farming or something. So then you just go to the notable wallets and then see what's the biggest change so far, like who has gotten the most tokens so far. So then you can see already like, oh, Pendle staking. So that's already launched. That launched like yesterday or something. Yeah, 52 hours ago. So like 2 days ago.
Nice.
I think probably gonna go check out who else is like buying it up. One sec.
Yeah. So this is literally just showing you which addresses have the most inflow, and then you can drill down to see who is actually depositing the tokens into these different contracts, right?
Yep. Yeah. So Pendle staking right now, basically everyone's just buying it and staking it for the rewards, I would assume. Oh, then they've also launched like what's it called? They've also launched the pool 2 staking as well. So then you guys just can check out like, oh, SushiSwap, what's the SushiSwap liquidity pool? And you can check it out. Like it's changed actually, like has like 500K negative change. That means people have been buying it up. Like net positive, right? So yeah. So depositors into that contract. Basically that means that people that provided liquidity. So I want to check out like basically how many people have bought up supply for Pendle and then entered the farms into it. This is nothing. Nice. But yeah, this single-sided staking. So this is pool 2 staking. So they can see all this like smart money wallets, right? I actually really like this. I actually really like this INAS.
That's a pretty cool one. Is that someone that you've been following or like?
Yeah, I think it's a friend. I think it's a friend.
Okay. Yeah. No,
Pretty
we don't
much.
need to dox anyone here.
It's all friends. Cool. We're all friends. We're all
friends. That's true. Everyone in the Pendle pool is a friend of mine, right? So this is showing the staking, and then you show basically the liquidity pool that you would use in order to do pool 2 farming, right?
Yeah.
So are these the two main things that people are doing right now with Pendle?
Yeah, I think just because before this, the product for Pendle wasn't live yet. Like I don't think we even dived to like what Pendle is. Sorry, but yeah, Pendle is basically like you can think about it as an interest rate DEX. So whereby you have like assets like Aave ETH, for example, that has interest on the ETH. So what Pendle does is basically would be like it'll allow you to like deposit that Aave ETH and then they'll separate that tokens for you. So you have like your interest rates at your collateral in a different like separated thing, and then you can basically trade those interest rates. So let's say, for example, your Aave curve was paying like a couple 100% the other day because of convex farming. You could actually have like sold it for like 50% or 100% and just secured that interest rates.
Yeah, so it basically makes like the interest rate market more efficient, right? Because people can trade specifically on the interest component. Yeah,
you can. Yeah, it makes things a lot more efficient. You can basically do a lot of like interest rate strategies. So let's say you don't mind if let's say there's enough liquidity, you can actually like do a lot of like volume on small but guaranteed gains. So it's a lot more safer as well for like I don't know, traditional or institutional bankers, because that's what they do quite a bit with like bonds, buying discounted bonds and just waiting for the uptime difference.
Yeah, that's interesting. It feels a bit like one of those kind of DeFi primitives that you need in order to have like a space that can somehow compete with or surpass like traditional finance. It's like one of those components that you would expect to have, right?
Yeah, I guess it's also slightly limited by the gas costs, but then right now Ethereum's gas is like super cheap anyway, so it's fine.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of fortunate in that sense that they didn't launch like 2 months ago or something like that, right? But so is the project itself live on mainnet or?
They're launching basically on the 17th, so like about 12 hours from now or something.
12 hours from now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they'll be live on. There's actually an announcement post on this. So Pendle. Yeah. Pendle's mainnet announcement. But yeah, it's basically on the 17th. And you can become like a yield token liquidity provider. So basically they're using Compound and Aave tokens. So you can just deposit deposit whatever compound and Aave tokens you have, and then you can just like generate some extra yield on those pairs.
Nice. So at the moment you can like only stake, like in this very moment, you can only
only
stake
just farm
tokens, and you can do pool 2 farming. But then the actual mainnet is coming in like 12 hours where people can.
It was like a deliberate decision for the team. Like we were talking about it when they launched. So basically, we also like led the seed round for Pendle as well. But one thing was that we were talking to them about like whether you wanted to do like pool 2 farming and single-sided staking when they launched the token. So that was like a month or two ago. And then they were like, why would we want to do that instead of why should we? Like we could always like maximize our token use distribution when we're actually using it for something meaningful. So so we decided to do it right before like the product launch, just in case, because otherwise you would have like a month or two of like useless net distribution somewhat. It's like you're literally paying people for nothing that really contributes back to your protocol. So this way we thought it was a lot more efficient use case.
Makes sense. Do you guys work very closely with your portfolio token investments on like how to do that kind of stuff, or?
Yeah, so we usually try to be very hands-on in our portfolio companies. Like whatever investments we make, we try to help them out in all things possible that we can help them out with. So like even designing the tokens, designing how you want to distribute like liquidity mining rewards, designing a lot of the emission schedules and how they want to do the farming rewards. How does it actually tie back into the token usage, and then what actually like targeting like what platform or what usage of your protocol you wanted to incentivize, because like some projects you've seen that they don't actually need liquidity on their main token. Like Uniswap is perfectly fine if there's no liquidity on the Uni token, just because it's a governance token, right?
Right. Yeah, so in this case, they're basically doing sushi swap, right? So I guess there was some coordination with the sushi team to make sure they were included in Onsen or something like that, right?
Yeah, they got into Onsen like a couple of weeks after they launched. So that was also another like synergistic relationship, I guess. Because when you get on Onsen, you get sushi rewards as well. And if, for example, Pendle is like an interest trading platform, you can actually deposit sushi into X sushi, and then you can trade those interest rates as well. So that's what we were thinking of doing in the rewards. Because for like the past 2 months or so, it was mostly the Pendle team that was the LP in the pool. Yeah. So then Pendle was like, okay, we'll be getting this much sushi rewards. We can actually use that to bootstrap the protocol.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense actually. Cool. And so the takeaways from like using Nansen in this case is like you went into token god mode, you saw that there's like the biggest inflow into the staking contract, and then you could break down like who's staking. And normally I look for like smart money addresses.
Yeah.
Do you do the same, or like what kind of stuff do you look for in a top deposit table?
I like to see who's the biggest depositors first, and then only the smart molly and the addresses that I recognize. So you can see like GRT distribution participant. That's all the biggest ape, I think. Like every time I go to the token god mode page, there's always going to be at least one GRT distribution participant.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know how profitable they are, because they don't really have that much other tax. Like you check on that page or something. Like it's really just like that one GRT distribution thing. But like you can probably elite DEX trader. Yeah. And rare NFT collector. So it's probably a good user. I would say like high activity as well. Probably a good ape. I would like to like highlight somehow, like add a style or something for the address. So it's like have a favorite address list to target.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you actually. So here you said you found this like ape that you often see. Do you ever make use of like smart alerts where you would just kind of copy their address?
Yeah. I'll just save it. I'll save it as smart alerts and have it all in my Telegram or something, and just ping whenever. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I usually do. And then every morning or something, or basically every time there's a notification, I'll just check it out. Like, what the hell is this ape doing? Yeah. Then try to get in as well.
Nice. Do you prefer to have kind of like just get tons of alerts and then you kind of eyeball through them, or do you kind of curate them so you don't get overloaded with tons of different?
I check everything. Like even the hot contracts alerts, like this. Yeah, hot contract alerts signal. that's what I would literally check through every day. Like that's one of the few channels that are allowed to spam me.
Okay.
I check through it every day, see what's happening, what's the newest farm to ape into.
Nice. So actually, one thing we were discussing in the team today is that we've seen that a lot of the hot contracts activity is now on Polygon. Like, are you also looking at Polygon, or are you still mostly doing L1, or like, what other chains are you interested in?
Yeah, there's like Polygon. There's like so many farms right down there. There's like Iron, Chi, and so many like degenerate farms as well. Like basically, like it's like a coin toss of which farm you enter, and it's like a rug, or whether it's like a 1,000,000% APY or something. But it's a good, I would say very fun and interesting yield farming opportunities there. Just because it's like so much cheaper. It's like pennies on pennies, so much cheaper and fun to play around with. And so I guess like Iron, for example, got like $2 billion TVL or something when last I checked, and that's like, okay, I didn't see those numbers and since like DeFi summer or something, where some protocol would get like $1 billion TVL so fast.
I saw the peg started slipping. I'm not sure what the status is right now, but it was kind of going off. It looks like it's back.
Fixed, it fixed. I remember waking up to it, and I was like, oh, my friends were aping it up. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll probably follow you guys. But
that's a pretty good stress test. I think it went down to like 93 cents. You can see it here because it's.
No, I can't see it on Coingecko.
I definitely saw it on Dex.
You can probably go on the website and check it out. But yeah, Iron was this like super annoying coin for me because they launched on BSC first, and it was like a somewhat failure. So when they went on Polygon, I ignored it for like a few weeks or something. Then after that, I was like, shit, I should have bought it. I should have kept an eye on it. I guess it's slight peg drop, but
cool. Okay, so you do look at Polygon stuff as well. Are there any other chains like Arbitrum? I think you guys are also investors in Arbitrum, right?
Yeah, Arbitrum we invested in as well, but that's going to be launching in like end of this month, I think, or like early July. Yeah, so that's the timeline there. So right now they're in like a closed mainnet. So what that means is that basically like there's an application process for developers to jump into, and why that is because they want to make sure that every developer or every team has the specific like token details that they need. So like they basically need to like re-enter or reset up all the token lists that we are used to like interacting with on Ethereum. And if like, for example, the Sunder protocol uses this like exotic token that's not existent on Arbitrum yet, they need to like set it up for them. So then it takes like, I don't know, it takes quite a short time. Like from what I've heard from every developer team using Arbitrum, it's like they've been onboarded like just like that, like 10-15 minutes, and they're already done. So it's really just like, I think there was like a short list of like 250 projects that they're already working that out.
That's cool. So you'd like to see Arbitrum's support on Nansen, I imagine.
Yeah, because there's quite a few like blue chips moving to Arbitrum already on the launch. So like they've like Cream just yesterday posted that they're going on Arbitrum. Then you have Aave as well. Aave, I think the Yearn family is going there as well. Then Sushi is already there. Uniswap is going to be there. They finally decided to get off the optimism race track and get on Arbitrum first.
Do you think they're actually getting off that track, or is it more like they're just adding Arbitrum as like
they're adding support? They're adding support for it, but like they had always had like the optimism full only approach for the longest time until the committee was like, hey, we should launch. I think Andy did the post or something.
Yeah, makes sense. I see you're poking around with the dashboards, which is cool. So hot contracts, is that one of the places you often go and start when you want to poke around in Nansen?
Yeah, it's like I'm basically trying to find like new farms or like new interesting things and whatever's happening in the market right now. So alETH is one that it was like quite controversial yesterday. I was like, there's a lot of drama, Oh, actually, is this new? Like smart money deposit thing.
So this is showing like the number of smart money addresses that are interacting with this address in the last 24 hours. That's often like you can also click it and you will sort by that. Like that. And then you can see stuff like Alpha Finance, Merkle distributor, another Merkle distributor.
save that open later. Okay, you dive through the saddle thing. Yeah, this is quite controversial. This is quite controversial yesterday. Basically, that
what happened?
alETH is basically Alchemix ETH. So basically, it's it's like a stablecoin that they generate from the. It's not a stablecoin, sorry. It's like a ETH token that they generate from the Yearn ETH vaults. So what happened is that they needed a place to trade the ETH pair. So like alETH against ETH, and they wanted to trade it on Curve originally. But then Curve was like, hey, we'll probably not be able to give you guys CRV rewards because just because of how the way the Yearn votes work. So Yearn ETH, for example, already generates strategies that will receive CRV. So then they're like, it'll probably be like double dipping or something, and then that if you're double dipping, that'll probably mean that you're taking away CRV from like potential other users. So they're like, okay, we don't want to give like the gotch for this. So that was a discussion. So then they're like, okay. So then they reached out to Saddle, which was like an implementation of Curve on Solidity on Ethereum. So then they banded together to start up their own own farm. Yeah.
And okay, that's really helpful context. I wasn't really aware. So Saddle Finance is basically a Curve competitor, or it's an implementation of Curve in Solidity instead of Viper.
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's like I would call it the competitors. They have like quite antagonistic relationship right now.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So I guess this is kind of a weird contract because we would have to plug in, like, do we actually know what aped in with, right? It's like SETH. Is that like, I don't even know what that is. Is that like synthetic ether or?
Yeah, it's synthetic ETH. I think they did like they probably did like a tri-pool as well. So like ETH, alETH and ETH or something. But yeah, yeah. Oh shit! I think I closed it by accident.
Yeah. I know the feeling. You get a bit lost in these different contracts. We are actually discussing how we can make it easier to keep track of all these different tabs.
You should basically add like a new tab next to it or a new button next to it for the top deposit directly. So just jump in. Yeah. So rather than just having like TX or whatever, you can go through this and then check it out. So they definitely made like a tree pool here. So like wrapped ETH, synthetic ETH, and alETH, alETH.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely made a tree pool here. Then if this doesn't work, I think you could probably have like a LP token or something.
So like maybe one way to do that.
I think another do it. You need to go to you basically go to the top depositor contract.
Yeah.
And you just get that. Oh, sorry.
It's like our product designers are like,
deposit address, you get this address. And you get the token address here. You get the token address here. Make sure the correct decimals, and that's basically it.
So I can just explain briefly what you were doing there. So you basically just clicked on the transaction, right? Or for the address. And then you found out what are the different assets that you have deposited into this contract. And then you just plug those into top depositors, right? You say like, let me look at, was it Alchemix ETH that you plug in now?
Yeah, I'm using Alchemix ETH.
Let's see the top depositors of Alchemix ETH into the Saddle Finance smart contract, right?
Yep. So regardless of whether they use, like, I think going through the Saddle website now, or whatever. Okay, no, I think that's cost my VPN. But okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Fix that later. Yes. So this is it, I guess, the top depositor wallet. So you see someone actually deposited like way earlier than anyone else.
Right.
TVL.eth. That's a nice. Yeah.
That's a pretty good one. We should check that out. Do you want to? We should have a. Why doesn't that link to?
Yeah, why doesn't it link to that?
Weird. Can you just copy the address and like plug it into Wallet Profiler? I'm like curious.
Yeah.
209 depositors.
209 only. Yeah, I expected a lot more. But yeah, the TVL is quite low as well. It's like I think a couple mil. Not as much.
TBDC.
TBDC, yeah. That's
Tally.
yeah, it's Matt long ago.eth. Yeah, probably it's the Keep Network guys that did it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it wouldn't actually be surprising because Keep Network has this like the development lab. I'm not sure. I can't remember what the name right now is, but then they were the incubator group for Saddle. So yeah, they helped like launch it out and everything. Then Matt was quite around like in the community during the early days. Because when Saddle launched, there was this drama as well where a few of the early depositors got wrecked basically from depositing into Saddle one-sided. So like they didn't take advantage of it. They didn't like pay attention to the slippage requirements. So then they aped in like 1 BTC and it became like 0.1 or something. Yeah.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a quite a long time ago in like DeFi terms.
And so again, just to kind of spell out what you were doing here. So you looked at top depositors, and what you wanted to find out was who was the first in here, because you think, hey, this address probably knows something, right? Like they're worth following. And so this is an example of an address that you might want to put up a smart alert for, because they tend to, or at least this is one data point where they aped into something pretty early.
Yeah, probably take this one instead. I haven't seen this one before. This Korean letters. Korean? Yeah, I think it's Korean.
Yeah, it's Korean.
Korean letters on ENS. I actually didn't know you could do that on ENS. But I could change that.
Yeah, and so I'd be curious. Like, so this one has been active from like right before.
It's quite a good address as well. Elite Dex Trader, Elite Dex Trader, high activity, uncommon NFT collector.
So actually, a lot of this stuff is about kind of finding addresses that are worth following, right?
Yeah, but it's like a small balance wallet, I think, like 4.4 ETH, like even just a couple $100. Probably has a lot more farms in general. Yeah, so you can see it uses a zapper quite a bit.
Igor in the chat is saying watching Daryl surfing Nansen is like watching pro player playing StarCraft.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I've been using Nansen since like you guys launched or something, like literally a week or something after you guys launched. I was like, shit, this is something I want to play around with a lot. Yeah. I'm literally hounding Alex DMs every day.
So one thing I often wonder is, for a power user like yourself, is it annoying when we make changes to the platform, because we're trying to make you better, right? But how do you see that?
I remember when you guys changed it all from like one page to the multiple patch thing. I was like, what the fuck happened to my pages? I was like, okay, what the hell is this? Where's everything else? I was literally going through. Then I had to like go through one by one. Yeah, it's a lot better now. It's a lot more smoother. Like it loads faster. So that was another I think that was like benefit for sure. And then now I get more information, because otherwise I don't want to keep spamming the next button. But yeah.
Oh, someone else is saying that the Korean ENS says ElonMusk.eth in Korean.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
Thank you, Josh.
Elon.
That's hilarious. Did you spot anything interesting on that address, or?
I think it's a farmer wallet, because he aped in quite a bit. He aped in quite a bit of shit on Zappo and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And they started. I think they were active like March 2020, right? Like right before before DeFi summer.
Yeah, I need to take care not to like open my Etherscan, because I have quite a few like tags.
Yeah. You have well, it's not super useful yet, but you have an address book in Nansen where you can add your own addresses. But eventually, we're going to overlay those as well if you want to, like in the tables. But as you point out, sometimes you actually don't want to show it to people if you're sharing like your screen or doing a screenshot.
Yeah, if I'm sharing my screen right now, I cannot open. Like I might not be able to open some, because I don't dox
people. Yeah,
I have I maxed out my Etherscan address list like multiple times. So I'm literally asking the Etherscan guys to bump it up for me. Yeah.
Because you're originally from Malaysia, right? And the Etherscan guys are as well. Like, and you were working at Coingecko before. Like, is there this kind of Etherscan and Coingecko mafia going on in Malaysia, or how is the working relationship between?
Yeah, so it's like before MCO, we used to like go out with the Etherscan guys quite a bit. So like we used to like go pay what's it called, laser tag,
Oh, cool.
and like have dinners together, and just like generally just enjoy, just chill out. Like it was like a much more like chill time in the market. It's like I think 2019, 2020. Yeah, so that's like really not like the whole DeFi summer hasn't like hit yet. So
Right.
we're all like just having like chill dinners, catching up and all. Because like the whole, I guess like both Etherscan and Coingecko, the working environment is very chill. It's like everyone's like quite close together. Everyone's like quite like family. I don't know how else to describe it.
That's cool.
But yeah.
It is pretty remarkable that two of them, definitely the most useful websites in crypto, are from Malaysia. It's pretty.
It's like the funniest thing because like the Coingecko team and the Etherscan team both thought the other one was in Singapore. And so when they met the first time, it was actually in Singapore, right?
Okay.
They met the first time there. Then like, oh hey you guys, yeah, like Coingecko, like Etherscan or anything like that. It's like I don't know, just like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And then they met. I think they met again on the airport back. And they're like, hey, what are you guys doing here? It's like, oh, we're in KL too or something. Like, oh shit. Right. Yeah, I think that was the story.
Yeah. So what do you look at next? I mean, we've got a bunch of stuff like in our notes here.
Oh yeah. What do you want to look at?
You're not super into NFTs, but
no, I'm part like I'm not like in tune with the daily NFT thing, but I'm part of like PleasrDAO. So we do like ape accordingly to like a few NFTs that we really like the ethos of. So like one of it was like the Snowden piece, and then another one was actually, can probably open up the website here, PleasrDAO. Yeah. So we actually bought the Doge thing. We actually bought the Doge the Doge NFT. So like we bought that for about I think $4 million. So yeah. So this is a video.
Part of internet history. Yeah.
This is a video that Pleasr made.
Yeah, this is really cool. I don't know if the music comes through. It should though.
Yeah,
the song is really cool. But so you don't normally ape into NFT projects yourself?
It's like I aped into like bought apes. I bought one when it launched, but then every other NFT launch since then, it's like I've always been asleep. I just like missed it out just by sleeping. It's like DeFi summer all over again when I sleep and I miss like a $1 million percent APY found. Same thing with NFTs. Yeah.
I think the cost of sleeping when it comes to DeFi and NFTs is very high.
Yeah,
it's just not worth it. You should just like stay up.
Yeah, this is the Doge NFT that we bought.
Look at that.
It's basically the original. Yeah, it's basically the creator of, or basically the photographer of the Doge thing. She posted this as an NFT and she sold it. She sold like a bunch more pictures, but like this is probably the most iconic one because it became like the Dogecoin. It's like the one meme for everywhere. I think the biggest meme in the internet probably.
Yeah.
And we got this for quite cheap. Like we got this for like $4 million. I think it should have been a lot more. It's just that it was during like the market crash.
Right.
So we're actually on a bidding war for this. Yeah, we're actually on a bidding war for this.
Do you know who you were bidding against?
It was like some other guy. I'm not sure. I think the only thing I know about him is that he's like a really large like Dogecoin whale. Like he made quite a bit of money from Dogecoin. So then he got that. Let's see. So no, can't find it. No.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a look at one of these NFT projects that you probably were sleeping when it happened? Because we had this
let's go.
The AlienBoy NFT. Maybe
Alien. I haven't heard about it.
So I think we've got them in. Let's see if we can find the link here. Is there an easy way for me to send the link to you? Let's see. Let's see if I can manage to sneak this over in the.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom.
You want me to stop sharing my screen or something?
Yeah, you can just keep sharing your screen, and we can just bring it up, and we can see if this is like understandable to you. Oh yeah, no, I just posted it in the private chat inside of StreamYard. Yeah, there you go, that one. You can just click that bottom link, the bottom link there.
Okay.
One.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is just showing, I think, the token sale for the AlienBoy NFT.
Yeah.
and we just went to counterparties here. I think our analysts thought this was kind of interesting because like we saw an ETH ICO participant who aped into this.
Do you guys keep track of like the other NFTs? So like you could probably mark, like, I know you guys mark socks holders and people that redeem socks on the address. So you could probably get like some more tags related to NFTs. I don't know, like hash mark.
Yeah, you mean like CryptoPunks holder or something like that. Yeah.
So like, what's that?
That's a cool idea.
The alien punk thing. You could do that as well.
Oh right, yeah, alien punk holder. Yeah.
Yeah, normal punks would be not like common, I guess, but like, alien punks are rarer.
That's a good idea. Hopefully, if someone in our team is watching, they can take note of that. Yeah. So you kind of right away kind of get how to use the wallet profiler for something like this. So there's, I guess, two tables here. There's like the top labels. Okay, yeah, you already spotted those there. And then there's the table a bit further down, which says like top interactive wallets, right?
Oh, okay. So this is sorted natively by the transactions already, I guess.
Yeah, it's sorted by transactions, but then you can also do you can do that one, and then you see you see all the ETH going out to the deployer, and then you use sadboy.eth.
Sadboy.
12 Ether. dodox.eth is down there. It looks like a smart money address.
Isn't that like the exchange? Like they got like Dodo exchange.
Yeah, is it the actual like Dodo?
No, it's just like some guy that bought a shit ton of NFTs, like Huobi and Iron as well.
Finance.eth.
Whoa. Wow, this guy just camping on my NFTs.
Thinking.eth. That sounds really familiar.
There's like a Thinking USD guy on Twitter. Like Twitter Thinking USD, I think his name. Yeah, flat.
Thinking USD.
Yeah, 150K. Thinking, yeah. Yeah, that's boring.
So
okay, let's go check this.
So here you see kind of who aped into this. Can you scroll down just to see how many addresses? Okay, it's like more than 2,000.
Nice. Oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. So
does it cap off at 2,000 or is it?
It does. It does. Yeah.
Caps,
I should probably clarify that because it caps it at 2,000 and it caps it at based on number of transactions, right? So that means sometimes if you're sorting by ETH volume, there will be addresses that are not in the list if they just made like one transaction but one huge one, and that's not ideal. We should probably have a way to like recalculate it when you sort, but that's going to make it order. So
I know you can probably put it like somewhere up here or something, like number of transactions.
That's right. Yeah, we could probably do that. Like just how many addresses interacted with this one. We should probably have that. Yeah, good point.
I just realized it's like not much labeled wallets here, or like known wallets here.
Yeah, it's pretty much a bunch of like individuals, right? Which kind of reflects what you would imagine, right? You don't see exchanges, you don't see like CeFi protocols or other DeFi protocols sending ETH into this token sale. It's mostly like, individual apes with ENS names and like OpenSea accounts and stuff like that who are aping in.
I really like the Sadboy thing. I want to check him out on wallet profilers, sadboy.eth.
Yeah. Oh, you can't use ENS though, but that's another good input. We should have ENS support. Hopefully, it's big enough. You could actually just click on.
Yeah.
You could just click on it, and actually that takes you to wallet profiler. So that's actually the easiest way to do it. We didn't used to have this feature, but now you can. Yeah.
It's like super. I Sadboy one Sadboy in OpenSea. He's active everywhere. Oh, actually, fanboy. Oh, KBTC.
Oh, nice.
I haven't seen that in a while. That was a really, really good farm.
KBTC.
Yeah, KBTC.
Is that Klondike or what is that?
Yeah, Klondike. Yeah, it's like a really, really good farm. Like crypto yield info. Like he was like on top of that all the time. So he's like aping a lot of that.
Crypto yield info is the precursor to VFAT, right?
Yeah, it's like this. He's like I don't know. He's like some guy who's working full time outside of crypto. So he really just like farms. He really just checks crypto just like a few hours a day or something. Not like spends his whole full time career in crypto, and he just puts everyone else to shame. because they find all these like APIs like a few hours after they launch, and it just stays into it for longest time. But I think Chi and Iron, he was there since like the launch, like a few hours since the launch, and they've been going on for like 5 weeks now, and they've done like 1,000x or something. So he's just like an ultra chat farmer.
So maybe to take a step back here, like when it comes to the whole yield farming space, like is the game still to discover the kind of yield farms as early as possible and just ape in, or like is there kind of a different strategy that people use now, or like what's the way people approach this?
You do it like mix of both ways. So like for example, some farms I would like ape in. I'll ape in at the very beginning because I think I already read through like the model and how it works, whether it's like a Ponzi or whatever, whether it's like a Ponzi or something. And then some other farms I wait and see like how many people are actually like aping into it. And then if whether like my friends or like the people that I know in like chat groups or whatever, they're talking about it more, then they can like discuss like, okay, what's the rock chances here? Like if I enter like I don't know, like if I enter like some another algo stablecoin, will I get rugged again?
Yeah. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, but the way I look at these opportunities is typically I look at my social network, meaning like other people talking about it. Yeah, and then the other thing is and the other thing is like on-chain data, and those are like the two main things I look at. You could maybe add a third thing, which is kind of like fundamentals. Like if you actually go in and read the smart contract, if you but personally, I mean, in many cases,
do that.
First of all, you don't have the competency to do it, most people at least. And second, it's going to take quite a long time. So is that the way you look at it as well? Like you mostly do the two first ones, like your social network and on-chain data? And so maybe or do you actually read smart contracts? Like, do you spend any time on that?
I would read through like the mechanics of how they work, but not the actual smart contracts, because most times they use like a fork of each other. So like a lot of times in like DeFi Summer, they just fork the sushi swap master chef thing. Yeah. So that was like really easy. Like just if I see it's a synthetic fork as well, I just ape in blindly, ape in without caring really at that point.
And do you verify that it's actually just literally the code, or like with a diff checker or something? Or
diff checker works, and then just check through like how many differences there was in the sentences. So like sometimes they just like literally change from like kimchi to spaghetti or like kimchi to pasta. That works.
And in kimchi those cases,
amazing farm.
Kimchi was amazing farm.
Yeah, it was amazing farm, man. I was going to say first few farmers for that. We had the first few farmers for kimchi.
Yeah.
So that was like pretty fun explorer.
I think kimchi was pretty insane. I vaguely remember aping into it and then going out for a drink with Pedro from Wallet Connect. And then coming back, and I was like, "This is insane! Like, how much yields is it possible to get from one?"
So I don't know how much kimchi, but I remember paying the guy that told me about kimchi like a tip. So I gave him like 5K kimchi. And I think we sold it for like 50K or something. I was like, "What the fuck?"
That's insane. Yeah. Some of those farms were kind of like, a lot of people made probably half of their fortune in like one of those farms.
It's basically this was a friend basically that I tipped him that 5K kimchi. He was like, I think the next day after that he made like six figures again on another farm. Like what the hell is happening in this market? Because he was like I think an 18-year-old college kid that just started his degree. It was like, I had like before yesterday I had student debts to pay, and now I figured that all out already just because of kimchi farming.
Did they actually take profits, or was it just
he did. So it was like funny story with him. It's like he cashed out, I think at the top of DeFi Summer, he cashed out like a cool figure, and then his bank rugged him. Like basically every day he had to go to the bank and like talk to them about it, because he's like super young. So the bank thought he was like money laundering or like selling drugs or something. So every day he had to go to the bank and like figure things out.
And
Yeah,
so
they're
he
not
went to the bank
yeah.
and he showed the kimchi website and said, "Look, I just made 40,000 APY
Yeah.
on this money. That's
Yeah.
how I got it." And they were like, "Okay, cool, that's fine."
No,
Yeah.
they thought kimchi was like some elaborate money laundering scam. They thought it was
Yeah.
like some elaborate money laundering scam. So he had to like explain from like, I think the very basics of what the hell is a Uniswap pool, and all the bankers were just like, yeah, how are you not selling? How are you not doing something illegal? Yeah, it's like a month or something of him figuring that out.
Man, yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I've also spoken to a few people who are a lot younger than I am, and they've just like made a killing on yield farming and also NFT flipping and stuff like that. And it's personally, I think it's really, really cool.
Nick from Parafy. Nick from Parafy is like what, 18, 19?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really cool. I mean, in many ways, it feels. You know, it's funny how many people complain that like the whales are making all the money and so on, but like there's no other space where you can be like 18 years old and like make a fortune just from your brains like that.
I've heard like a 14-year-old person that's actually like using arbitrage rewards or something, and it's like getting like, I don't know, 10K or like 50K a week or something, and it's like 13 or 14. So it's like
I think one really cool thing about that is like it actually attracts these people, right? It's like, hey, it's like a magnet for big brains who want to make a lot of money, right? And
it's like, I don't know, in generally in this market, if you're an engineer, you're probably gonna kill it fast because you're gonna understand all code so much faster than everyone else, and you can make your own scripts and all. Exactly. And then from there it's just like, it's just like easy mode for you. And for us plebs that can't code, it's just
So what are some projects that you're looking at these days? Anything that you're spending time on in particular?
Also, I'm looking forward to the Arbitrum launch, because that's like one of the L2s that we've been talking about for the longest ass time. Like Ben from our team actually wrote a couple of articles on layer 2s as well. So he wrote like this big, like this 3-part piece on rollups and everything. So that basically talking about like Arbitrum and optimism rollups. It's either on our website or on Deribit, probably on Deribit, where I tweeted that out as well.
That out as well. The non-technical introduction to rollups, I think that's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah,
that's excellent. Like, everyone should read that in the space.
Oh yeah, I posted this meme as well. Rollups and future of scaling.
Is that actually Ben at Bitcoin Miami?
Yeah, it is Ben. Yeah.
Ben
was like
that's hilarious.
Yeah, this is Ben at SBF. Yeah. So Ben was like this ultra chat partying in Miami. No, like talking. He was basically meeting everyone there at the party.
So Arbitrum and like rollups, so L2, like anything else you guys are interested in?
I guess a lot of the interest derivative stuff. So basically, it's like when you think about crypto or DeFi in general, it's like a lot of the building blocks have already been built out, right? So you want to be thinking about like what else can we do in the space that hasn't been done before? Like what other verticals are there that hasn't really been explored yet? So one thing that we've noticed in the past is like interest rate derivatives. So like that's why we made the investment in Pendle. That's really because like we thought that it could expand the space a lot further. Yeah. And then we also did a recent investment in Divergence. So Divergence was this like is this volatility product as well? I'm just thinking about it right now because I'm on this page. but it's basically like one of those products that you can use to hedge against all your farm rewards and basically trade binary options on Ethereum for like a lot of different markets. So that one should be launching soon as well.
That's cool. So like Arbitrum, Pendle, and Divergence.
Yeah, those. I think it's basically on the top of my mind right now because I'm going through this Nansen page on it. But yeah,
makes sense.
Probably Element as well.
Element.fi.
Yeah. They basically released a post yesterday on. They released a post yesterday on the development documentation. So these guys are, and also decollateralization concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Marino shared it, and I was like, okay. I was reading it a lot more deeper, and I was like, oh, oh, holy shit. So basically what Element does is like a very simple concept as well. So they take the interest rate tokens, and then they split that up. And then they do all kinds of things with it, like what you can do with the the yield tokens alone, and what you can do with the collateral token by itself. So basically, let's say for example, you are interested in earning the year yields, right? You want to get like, I don't know, like 10% interest on your tokens, but then you don't have like 7 figures to ape into a year to get like a meaningful amount. What you can do instead is just buy the interest rate tokens on Element but it hasn't launched yet. I think it's launching on the end of the month or something. But yeah, that's one of my probably favorite projects in the space I'm looking forward to.
That's cool. Yeah. How does it relate to Pendle? Like, what? It sounds kind of similar.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds kind of similar. So the difference, I guess, is like the trading aspect of it. So like Pendle, for example, we were actually very impressed with Tien from the team when he made the whole AMM model. So basically, like, it was one of the main concerns that we had about using an AMM was because that you didn't really know how to price theta correctly on those AMMs. So it's like for example, when time decays, the interest that you would receive would also go down as well. So if you have like one market that doesn't really, if you have like a simple Uniswap pool, it doesn't work. Because basically it's like at the end of the month, why would I buy an interest rate token that's already used up? So the Pendle team actually made an AMM that actually took that into consideration. And as the time increases, then the pool will also change value. Basically the impermanent loss factor was reduced, and then the usage for the users was a lot more understandable from people.
Cool. Also, Tien is just a really great guy who's an amazing founder. Also has a lot of experience in the crypto space with Kyber and so on, right? Before.
Yeah, he worked in Kyber, I think, for a few years or something. And he's Malaysian as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Another Malaysian crypto OG.
Yeah, we got like a lot of Malaysian degenerates around.
Cool. So there are some people asking in the chat. There's someone asking about Sunder. Do you know Sunder?
Oh, Sunder. Yeah, Sunder was basically this I think they had a miso sale as well. Like you could probably find that. You can probably find that on Nansen, right? Sunder.
Oh yeah, I think no, I didn't thought I saw it there, but it might be. You might have to go back a while. When was the sale actually happening? Because we could probably just change the parameter in hot contracts.
No, I was going to go to the bento box deployer and check the addresses that they deploy.
Oh, that's another trick. Look at this. You should take note, guys. Like there's different ways to find stuff in Nansen.
It's loading.
So you just went to the bento box deployer. Yeah.
And check out. I'm trying to find like waiting for the wallets to load, but then it's probably under the related wallets that they'll have the contract. Because even on Etherscan, for example, you see which addresses they deployed. So you can see it's created these contracts, right? Yeah. So ideally, those should be the ones I'm looking for.
Yeah. Although there's a lot of these, though, I think.
Yeah, that should be a lot. Nope.
Maybe too many to find this way, right? It would be nice if it was sorted in a different way, perhaps.
This bento box. And
there's just so many of them, though.
I just searched Sunder directly.
Yeah, you can do that, I guess, as well.
Okay, Sunder. Actually, we are thinking this too complicated. We can just go here. We can just go to the marketplace and do fast sales. But yeah, Sunder is this governance platform thing that basically allows people to like do all kinds of stuff with their voting rights. Yeah, that was basically like the concept. The concept for it wasn't that like differentiated from a lot of the governance projects in the space. Because right now people are just thinking about like, okay, I have my governance token, but I'm too lazy to care about governance. What can I do with it? So I can either sell my rights to voting or like get some additional yields from my so-called voting power.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to squeeze out as much value as they can from valueless governance tokens. Yeah.
Okay. And so this one, in this case, you could take the auction, right? Take that auction contract and the URL and plug it into like Wallet Profiler or something.
Oh yeah.
To see, right? Or
then you can just check out the top deposits or top interactors. So that works. That works. Can find the biggest IPs. And
here we go.
One thing I'll be interested in seeing is that how many people ape this Miso contracts like consecutively. So like if, for example, you see all the like the buyers for Sunder and Sake and that's the past sales. Yeah, Sake and Manifold, right? I wonder if everyone participates in how many people participate in all three.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Binance IEOs or something. Like if you won, you're gonna do all of them, right?
Yeah, that's the basic logic, I guess. Because since like I guess one thing is that whether they increase their ape size or whether it's just that one time.
I guess that really just comes down to how well these projects perform, right? Like if they're able to flip them, like of course you're gonna, like if you go 10x or whatever, you're probably gonna do the next one as well.
Yeah. So it's no, because like if it does 10x, do I size up, or do I just use the same lottery ticket method and just spread the same amount of bets regardless of my past performance? There's many different ways you can use to ape or decide how to ape coin stuff.
Typically, people tend to increase their size, right? Because you also have more purchasing power, right? If you 10x on your last investment, you have like 10x more capital.
I think that's like gamblers' fallacy as well, right? So let's say you think I did like 100x on this, I'm gonna do like 100x on something else, but that's not really the right way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had.
So what do you think is the right way to do it?
I don't know. It's like we've had so many friends, or even me. I was like caught up in the before the recent crash. That I was like leveraging up like a certain portion of my portfolio, and then when the crash happened, just got liquidated on that. Yeah.
So don't mess with.
Yeah, it's like basically when you're in the later part of the cycles, or like when you're in a territory where the charts are like all parabolic or something, you should like reduce leverage and like reduce the number of positions that you're in. That's like generally the general warning for most traders. But then you have like the super cycle meme, and everyone was like so optimistic and like so basically FOMO hard in positions, kind of. Yeah.
So speaking of super cycle, like where do you think we are in the market now, like from a macro perspective?
I think, man, I suck at macro, like in general. Like I just don't really care. I don't really care about like traditional macro as much as I should have. Like my whole degree for the past 3 years or something was in financial analysis, and there I learned stupid textbook stuff. Like that was like 5-10 years ago relevant about like financial cycles and how the whole financial system works. And then I come to DeFi and it's like everything's completely different. We're like, fuck the banks. We're like, we're gonna reinvent our whole new future of France kind of thing. Yeah, it's a lot more different. So like I just never really paid much attention to macro stuff. It's really just like paying attention to like crypto, and then like listening to my friends when they talk about macro cycles and then also like trying to trade off of, I guess, sentiment. Yeah. So a lot of times when you see people like super bullish on Twitter or something, it's like, okay, hold up. If everyone's super bullish and everyone is fully allocated, then who is going to be like allocating more capital, or who's going to be actually watching out for the markets, or who's actually going to be like, I don't know, like deleveraged kind of. Yeah. Like if everyone is like so leveraged up, it's gonna be like a very easy way to like cascade, to like sell it down and get everyone wrecked. Yeah.
Yeah. It also feels like, generally speaking, a bit less actionable to try to like understand what the macro situation is, because like, okay, what can you do with? First of all, it's really easy to get wrong. Yeah. And second, like, what can you do with that information? I mean, you could buy like BTC or Ether or whatever, but it seems more interesting to be playing in these like smaller pools, like smaller opportunities where you can actually have an information edge, right? You can understand it better than most other people. So when you're like hopping around in these different farms and all that stuff, that seems like just a better opportunity. Like it's high risk, of course, but also the rewards are probably higher right? Relatively speaking.
Yeah, it's risk. It's your own risk profile. So let's say, for example, you're like a boomer. You're like a boomer coming from trad fee. You're not gonna ape into kimchi. You're not gonna ape into like the newest Polygon farm immediately. You're going to start off with your risk basket where you have like BTC, you have ETH, you have all the other boomer coins. I don't know what else boomer coins you have. Like ETH and BTC for sure. And then you have like smaller percentage of your portfolio, like maybe 10% that you don't mind losing. So you add that into like riskier assets like DeFi blue chips. Or like then 1% you go into like the the degenerate yield farms, right? Or the degenerate Ponzi's. And sometimes that 1% returns the whole book, right?
Yeah.
That's a general like personality or portfolio baskets that I see now.
So are you happy to share like your own breakdown, like your own portfolio, roughly speaking, of those? Like what does it look like right now?
Yeah, it's like 0 BTC for sure. Like I hate BTC. Fuck that.
Okay.
I'm like half cash, so like 50% cash and then 50% all risk on assets. So like Ethereum makes up a lot of it. Wi-Fi, of course. Then all the DeFi blue chips as well. Wi-Fi curve, sushi, the usuals. And then like a small portion of portfolio is like all the degenerate yield farming as well. So like my 50% stables is always going to be like farming. Okay. That's like clocked out. I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not gonna touch that unless it's like a 50% crash or something. Right. And then that's what happened. That's what happened. That's why like my stack became smaller. Like when the last crash happened, it was like on my birthday on May 19th. I woke up. I was like, I'm not gonna leverage trade today because it's my birthday. And then the markets crashed like 30%. Shit. Okay. Historically, 30% dips have been good to buy. So like, okay, why not, right? So I looked at Darren looked at me and was like, okay, let's ape in together. Then we aped into ETH, we aped into BTC. Then it got absolutely wrecked when the next downturn came in. We're like, shit, okay, we need to start cutting our losses because this market, the selling hasn't stopped.
Right.
Like the whole time we were watching the market crash and we kept seeing like the sell orders just flow through nonstop. I was like, what the hell? Where's the bid? I thought it was a super cycle, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing with macro, right? It just feels like you're this little leaf blowing around in like a tornado, right? You have no control of it or nothing. So,
I guess
cool.
You can play around. You can like, I'll say, a lot of experienced traders, they understand like what specific nuances this political move has. Like, I don't know, like increasing rates, what would happen in generally in economic sense. They can think about it in that way. So if let's say there's a increasing rates meeting that's gonna happen, I think today, then you're gonna be like, okay, you generally should be risk off, or like you should be cautious of your longs during those times, so that you're really just like keeping in tune of that, and then you could probably like help arrange your portfolio somewhat.
Yeah.
Like some people, most crypto people, they just don't care. They're just like, yeah, I don't care if I'm down, I just hold it until I'll be diamond hands. I just hold it and then wait for it to go back up, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But so to just reiterate on what you said on your own portfolio, so you're basically 0 BTC right now. Yeah. You're like 50% stables, but you use those stables to farm. They're not just sitting idly somewhere, right?
Yeah. So I use that to farm, and then the yield I get from that, I just ape into stuff if I want to. And then I just farm some more. Yeah.
And you said only like 1% for farm for like
no
really generous stuff, or like what?
No, I'm saying that 1% is usually like the boomers that come in that they don't want to risk so much.
Okay.
Like you think about it, right? If let's say I'm not comfortable losing like, I don't know, like 5% of my portfolio, I'm comfortable with that much. Generally, that means I can ape like 50% of my portfolio into something, and if that goes 10% down, then I can cut it, and then generally I would have just lost like 5%. So then you can play around with those ranges, right? So basically, I think there was this up only podcast that Sam Trabucco said the EV for being in crypto is amazing. It's like the worst case you lose everything, the best case you make like 100x. So like you think about that a lot. Yeah. It's basically like if you were up only and you were like bulled hard the past year, you probably made more than enough to like chill on.
That is probably true. And maybe on that note, it's a good time to wrap up.
Yeah.
So what's a good place to follow you? I think most people probably know where you are, but Twitter is the best, right?
Yeah, my Twitter is like, I haven't really been tweeting as much because it's like, whenever it's a bull market, whenever I tweeted something, then it'll just pop, and I just didn't like that. So I really just I just kept my my tweets to like a minimum, and I was shit post most of the time there. But yeah, it's like most probably they just find me on Telegram if I'm there. Like it's the same username anyways, and I'm a lot more on like Telegram chats and all. Just Twitter is really just like shit post for the moment. Yeah.
And then of course another way to follow you is on Nansen by setting up a smart wallet if you happen to find your address.
Yeah, find my wallet. Yeah, if you can dox my wallet, good.
Very good.
All right. Shit posting.
Okay, Daryl, thank you so much for being the first special guest on Nansen Office Hours. It's been a pleasure. Yeah. I hope you will come back soon and we can play around even more with dashboards. And enjoy your stay in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, thanks.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.